What is up, guys? DZ Fear, and a lot of people were asking for my Chronomaly deck list. I was playing this on Dueling Network for a while, and the way I see it, there's three ways you can play Chronomaly. You can play them with a large artifact engine, including Ignitions and Sanctum. You can play them with a small artifact engine using just Sanctums, and then you can play them pure. This is a pure deck profile, and it's for two reasons. First off, I think the pure version is better. I found myself when I was testing in real life as well as on DN that when I would have the artifacts, I would just not draw enough real trap cards. And I really wanted to negate my opponent's effects, not just destroy stuff or prevent shit with Scythe. So I ended up making this version. I think this is the better version, but also I think this is actually pretty affordable. I don't usually post budget deck profiles because I'm not a budget player, but I wanted to make this deck in the lowest rarity I could possibly find outside of the extra deck because I don't have low rarity extra deck stuff. But I want to show you that you guys can make this deck for pretty cheap. I have not priced it out, but I would assume you can make this under $100. And under $100 for a semi-competitive deck, I think is pretty good. But I'm going to go through my card choices. This is built for a casual level because it is a budget deck. But I'm going to talk about some of the changes I would make if I took this to an actual tournament. So to start off, we're playing 3 Neverdisk, your Stratos, as well as your Treeborn Frog. Playing 3 Golden Jet, which is your Constellar costs. We're playing 3 Skull, which is like your Rhoda, 2 Bones for your OTKs. I'm playing 2 Chronomaly Moi, which I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. The Easter Island head guy. I wanted to talk about this guy just for a second. So we're not playing artifacts. I thought the engine was too big and just not good enough. And then we're playing this guy instead of Galaxy Soldier because the problem with Galaxy Soldier, which is a new card from World Superstars, the problem that I was having was that if it got hit by a Mind Crush or Emptiness, you were like totally fucked. So like I like this guy because he doesn't get hit by those. He's inherent. The only thing that'd be worse against would be like Thunder King, but even then Galaxy Soldier is pretty shitty against Thunder King because you can't add anything. Also, you can search this guy out with Neverdisk when you need him, which is super helpful. Like, honestly, it's like, if you open, like, Golden Jet and Skull, instead of just going for Neverdisk and passing, you can actually go for this and make a rank 5. That's, like, really cool, I think. I like this guy a lot, so that's why we're playing him. One problem with him in comparison to Galaxy Soldier is that he's Earth, so you can't make Pleiades, but that's about the only way I can see he's worse. I'm also playing 2 Veilers. Look what I found Veiler-wise. I found premium gold ones, or platinum rare ones, not premium gold ones. So those are in there. I like Veiler, it's cool. We're playing 3 Potted Duality as well as 3 Upstart Goblin for consistency. We want to see Neverdisk turn 1 pretty much every game. We're playing 3 MST because, like I said, this is built for a casual audience. I would play 3 MST at any locals with an undefined metagame. My locals is a little more competitive, so I probably would only play like 2 or 1, but if you're playing this in a casual metagame or against your friends, 3 MST is probably pretty good. We're playing 1 Regeki, 1 Forbidden Lance, 1 Book of Moon. I'm playing 1 Pyramid Eye Tablet. You don't need to play more than 1, but as a searchable out to the Jinlock, and I realize if you're playing this casually, maybe like 1 or 2 people have Necroz at your locals, but just in general, you can put a lot of damage on board with 800 attack. I mean, 800 is really big. It makes Neverdisk like 26. It makes Golden Jet 21. Hell, it even makes Skull 17, which is not terrible. But mostly it's just searchable out to the Jinlock. So I would play it in the competitive version and also play it in the casual. I like Babylon. It's a field spell that once per turn you can banish a Chronomaly in your grave to special one with the same level. Oftentimes you'll find you'll have like multiple Neverdisk in your grave and like 1 Jet. And I find that you don't really need more than 1 Neverdisk in your grave because you can just bring 1 of them back per turn. So making use of that second Neverdisk to bring back a Golden Jet to make a rank 5 is pretty cool. And also you can do this under your Neverdisk restriction because when you special Neverdisk from the graveyard, you can't activate any other cards the rest of the turn besides Chronomaly ones. So this way you still at least have a Monster Reborn. And also, with that, this means that if you have no cards on field except this one, you can still make a rank 5 or a rank 4 just by special summoning Neverdisk. I guess you would have to have something on board, but you get the point. You could, or no, you wouldn't, yeah, because you can have this on board, banish to special summon, and then special summon Neverdisk from your grave, so that's cool. For our trap lineup, we're playing 3 Breakthrough Skill. Really good card right now. 3 Mind Crush stops Trish. as well as like anything Satellarknights are going to play. It's not terrible against Burning Abyss. It's just good card overall. 1 Emptiness, 1 Torrential Tribute, 1 Solemn Warning, 1 Ring of Destruction, and 1 Bottomless. Just standard traps. If I was going to take this to a real event, I would drop the Bottomless and Ring of Destruction for 2 Chaos Trap Holes. Chaos Trap Hole is basically another Solemn Warning, but only works on Dark and Light monsters, and then you banish it. So it's like fucking insane against Deneb, Scepter, Manju, Senju, Exciton Knight, Denko Sekka, like all these cards. But if you're just playing this set at casual tournament, Bottomless and Ring of Destruction are perfectly fine. I'm going to go through the extra deck real quick, and then I'm going to show you the OTK combo that you can do if you open up any Chronomaly monster and a Neverdisk. But anyway, we have Exciton Knight, Dweller, Cowboy, Daigusto Emerald. And if you're trying to make this budget, you probably don't have to play Emerald. It's not super necessary. Number 80, Castel. So those are those guys. I think these are all pretty cheap. You can pick up Exciton Knights for like 15, 20 bucks, Dwellers for like dollars, Cowboys for dollars. Emerald's a little tricky. Number 80, dollar. Castel is only like 15 or whatever. But the main deck is like dirt cheap, and especially if you already have staples, it's gonna be easy to pick up. 1 Gorgonic Guardian. This guy's just a better giant hand. He's also the only rank 3 I'm playing. Once per turn, either player's turn, you can detach one material to reduce an opponent's monster's attack to 0 and negate its effect. So it's better than Giant Hand in that sense, and you can use it a second time, and then also during either player's turn, without detaching material, you can just destroy a monster with 0 attack. So that's pretty cool. We're playing one of each of the Chronomaly seed monsters. This guy, I guess I'll just explain these guys in the combo later, but basically this guy, you can attach a material to reduce an opponent's monster's attack to 0, and then also you can tribute a Chronomaly monster to destroy something with 0 attack. And then this guy, you can target something with lower attack than... oh, no, I guess it can be anything. It could be higher attack, but basically you target something with different attack than it originally has. Your opponent takes that much damage, and then you gain that much attack. So, already you can see the combo here. You can reduce something to 0, inflict a shit ton of damage, and then attack for 1,000,000 points of damage. We're also playing Artifact Durano. This card's pretty cheap and really good. Basically, you can use them as a Mind Crush. You can use them to shuffle back Valks. You can use them to redirect shit to your Mind Crushes that you can just chain. I just really like this card. Wind Up Arsenal Zenmayo is really good against heavy back row decks. Volcasaurus is like one of the best rank 5s. Pleiades is definitely necessary for this deck. I guess he's one of the more pricier cards that you would play. Like I said, I kind of... The extra deck isn't necessarily budget, but hopefully you could find these cards from your friends. And like Pleiades and Castel, I think are the only really expensive things in any of this deck. So if you like already have the staple cards, and you're only picking up the like Chronomaly cards, then the main deck's not going to cost you like, can't imagine more than 20 bucks. They're all just commons and rares besides a Neverdisk anyway. And then I'm playing 1 M7. This isn't necessary. I'm playing it just as like, if your Pleiades somehow survives 2 turns, you might as well summon an M7 on it. And then playing 1 Gaia Charger, because Gaia Charger is swell. So the OTK that I wanted to talk about is if you have... It's really easy to pull off. All you have to have is a Neverdisk and any of the other Chronomaly cards in your starting hand. So all you need is just the Neverdisk and then any one of these 3. What you do is you summon Neverdisk, and depending on which one of these you opened, what you want to do is you want to end with the Skull and Grave and then Bones and Jet in hand. So if you opened Neverdisk and Skull, you could add Jet and then discard Skull to add Bones. If you open Neverdisk and Bones, you could add Skull to add Jet. If you open Neverdisk and Jet, you could add Bones to discard and add... Or you could add Skull, discard to add Bones. So you just need to end up with these 2 in hand and this guy in field, and then this guy in grave. So what happens is your opponent runs over the Neverdisk. That's going to happen. It's whatever. And then on your next turn, you have an open field, these 2 in hand, these 2 in grave. So what you're going to do, special summon Bones, which is going to bring back the Skull. You're going to use Neverdisk's effect to special it from graveyard. Now you can't activate any non-Chronomalies for the rest of the turn. You're going to normal summon the Jet, increase all these by 1 level. So these are level 4, these level 5. Then you're going to go ahead and overlay for, go through here real quick. You're going to overlay for the level 4 guy, or the rank 4 guy, I suppose, and then reduce something's attack to 0. So if you Assuming both these attacks are going to go through, if your opponent controls a monster with 1800 attack, then you're going to win. If you upstarted once, every time you upstart, you have to target something with 500 more attack. So if you have not upstarted, you can do this, and if they have something with 1800 attack points, you'll just win if both attacks go through. And if you did upstart, you'll have to target something with 23 attack. And if you upstart a second time, it would have to be 28 attack, so on and so forth. This is assuming you have not done any previous damage, and this is just your turn 2. So you're going to reduce something to 0 attack. Then you're going to overlay these guys for this guy. And then this guy's effect, obviously, like I just mentioned, you're going to target the thing you just reduced. Your opponent's going to take that much damage, and then this guy's going to gain that much attack. So if both these attacks go through, like I said, if your opponent has something with 1800 attack points, which could be literally anything, you can just attack with both these monsters and go for game. If you upstart it, it has to be 23, which is a bit harder, but late game, it's just insane. Trying to think what else. If this dies, your opponent has to have something, and you just have this on field, or like you, I don't know, like you Gorgonic Guardian the previous turn or some shit, and your opponent just has a monster with 0 attack. That monster's original attack has to be 2800, and then this is an OTK by itself. But I think it's just a lot easier to get both these on board. And I mean, like, all you have to open is Neberdisc and any of the other Chronomaly monsters, so it's like super easy to pull off. Always look for these opportunities. And that's just one of the many OTKs. I mean, Bones and like the field spell also does a similar thing. Like, you don't have to have the Golden Jet in hand, but I just thought this was like the most basic way to do it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this deck profile. I'll probably have a more competitive version. Well, not even. Like, this version is very competitive, but I'll have a version with, like, main decked anti-meta stuff, as well as a side deck for an actual event, if I take this to an event. I know there's a regional in a couple weeks. I know there's a couple box tournaments. I will not be playing in the 150th YCS, because I am going to be doing feature matches, but I'll talk about that in later videos. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this Chronomaly deck profile. If you have any questions on cards to swap out that you maybe can't afford, feel free to ask. And I will see you guys later. Bye.